Howdy everyone, welcome back to the Booga Box live stream. It's Monday, Medium Project Monday, and July 4th. I hope you all are having a good July 4th weekend, if you celebrate July 4th, if you're in America. Anyway, we decided to do an early stream today instead of later tonight. We thought about canceling it altogether, but figured, we'll just go ahead and do it early. I'm getting some rubber bands today. My daughter's getting me some so I can put all my hair up or get it cut, one of the two, and then do something with this. Anyway, I had planned on we're gonna be doing jelly cube earrings. We're gonna do 3x3 jelly cube earrings out of niobium, and we're gonna anodize those up when we get to the end. But we're gonna basically start from scratch. We're gonna be starting with wire. We're gonna coil it up today on a drill. I was hoping to do some cutting today, but earlier when I was working on some things, I had that. I don't know if you can see that, but my snippers broke. I have a backup pair, but I can't find them. I have another pair, but they're not good on the tip, so I can do the cutting I need to do. I'm going to use them just to cut my basic wire. So we're going to kind of just go with it today, see what happens. I had to do some work to try to figure out what ring size I needed. This is my current jelly cube in the normal size rings. But we're going to be making jelly cubes as 3x3, so we're going to only be making it about that big square. If you can see it in there. My laptop has decided to fart off again. And I don't know why it keeps doing that to me. I have to refresh it two times every night, it seems like, to get back my video so I can check for comments. I don't understand it. Come on, open up. There we go. Need my comments back. And where's my mute? Okay. Start getting feedback if I don't mute it. Alright. Hopefully that's going good now. We'll see. But anyway, we're going to do it 3x3, so they're going to be kind of small, plus the wire is going to be small. I figured up the calculation. If you're watching this and you need something to figure out your AR, or you're trying to figure out AR to what size wires you need, there's something out there called the Chainmail Ring Aspect Ratio Calculator. Long name, I had to write it down so I didn't forget. I found this thing years ago. I think it was made in like 2013. It's a free download. If you find ones, I know there's some out there that say get the crack for it and all this. It's a free download. I think it was on CNET is where I found it. When you put that into a search engine, you might find a lot of places like B3 and some other places that have an aspect ratio calculator on their website, which worked good, but I wanted a separate program. And what I like about it is you can put it, it basically finds X for you. If you know your AR and your wire size, but you don't know the ring size, you put those two in, it gives you ring size, or whichever one of those combinations you want. If you want to find the AR and you know the ring and wire size, it'll figure that out for you. But anyway, I put it in. I knew my wire we're working with. Let's see if I don't know if we can show it on the screen here. Let me see if I can flip over, and maybe the other screen will be able to show it a little bit better here. I think it was 0.62 millimeter, 6263 thickness on this wire here. That's 6.0. I mean, it kind of changed a little bit, but I put it in at 6.1. Whenever I was doing this, figuring out what I needed, and I put that in, and then I put in some inner diameter sizes. And kept calculating it till I got down to the aspect ratio I needed for a jelly cube. And it ended up coming out, I needed a 1.6 millimeter mandrel, which is 1.6 millimeter wire that I use all the time. So I got me out some stainless steel wire, cut it. So I made my own little mandrel. We're not going to make real long ones. I figured I'd just do it on the drill, it'd be easier. Being so small, it'd be actually harder to use my coiling device to do that. So we're just going to coil that up. We're going to do a few coils today. Like I said, I hope we can make an hour. Being that I don't have that other cutter, I'm not sure how we're going to play that yet, but we'll see. Alright, so this can take a little bit to get going just right. Got to get it curled up and then around. Make sure I get it good and tight. We're going to get a good coil going, and then I'm going to we'll just kind of go. It'll start bending this wire once we get a little further, as I'm putting some pretty good tension on it. I'm not going super fast. I could go faster, but I'm also trying to keep the noise down. And this is how we'd make any of our normal... Oops, I got out of alignment. See that little gap there? I'm probably going to do it again. I'm probably going to call it quits and starting to really pull on that wire. So we'll call it there. So that's what we're going to do. I don't even know how many rings would be on this. I haven't done this size, so let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 30. 30 is just under 3/4. So we probably got about 70 rings on this little bit here. Cut off the extra. We're going to have some extra here. And since I don't have my good flat cutters, I'm not making precise cuts here. I'm just trying to get it. But there's the little wire. Like I said, there's about 60 to 70 rings in this little thing. So, and I'm not sure how many I'm going to need for a 3x3. Let's see. I think the first layer is 21. Second layer, I think, is minus a couple. Is it 18? I don't really remember the numbers on it. I just make them anymore. So, I mean, basically, we just went average of 20-20. We need, that'd be 40. So, it'd be 40, 80, 120-ish. So, really, don't need a whole lot of these. But in comparison, also, these are the rings that we used for the current jelly cube that we've been working on. I pulled a few of those out so we could kind of compare. I don't know, again, if these cameras are going to be able to show it very well. But the new rings that we're making for the earring jelly cubes will fit inside the jelly cube current rings. So, with a little play. So, that's that. That's what we're going to be doing there. Let's put this over here. We'll just go ahead and start another coil here. So I don't know how many of these we're going to do. If that was, let's see, if I figure 40, then 80 and 120, that just seems awful light. But a 3x3 could be that way. We're almost at 10x10 on this, so I'm using hundreds of rings per side now, so maybe that's more in my thinking. But we'll just kind of go ahead and, like I said, get a few more coils going here. Wrap around. Try to straighten out that wire a bit. The hardest thing is getting this thing going and tight in there because of this wire size being so small. We'll make sure, try to keep them as tight and as close together as I can. As long as I don't let go of it or move too much. Like I said, this is a lot slower than normally how I'd make the rings, but we're working with smaller rings. This is actually the smallest ring size that I've made. Recently, anyway. Now it's starting to pull on me. We're going to stop there. It's starting to gap on me. Kind of wonder if, like I said, if I was to use my coiler, it'd be so hard to get this size going through there because I didn't necessarily make it for this size ring or wire. So I'm keeping all my little pieces here since it is niobium. How much shorter was that? It was quite a bit shorter, so probably a lot less rings than that one. It was just getting squirrely on me. Try to straighten this out a little bit. I almost need, I should have, well, I could have made up like a 2x4, put a piece of wire through it so it kept balance on the other side so it didn't want to start pulling. But I don't need that much, so I figured we'd just go this route. And cutting them. That's the other thing. I can't use the ringinator. Can't use my Pepe tool because they're so small. That inner diameter being 1.6 is just way too small for doing this. So, dang it. Get them back in there. Normally don't have that kind of problem whenever I'm using bigger wire. It'll stick in there and hold, but this one's a little different. Staying a little closer this time, see if I can get a little bit longer before it really starts pulling apart. Like I said, some people will just fly through this, but I want to make sure I'm taking my time and trying to have the least amount of waste as I can. And it's starting to get, see how it really torques there at the end. Too far. Back through there. Ooh. I dropped my wire. At least the end of it. Need to make a holder for it. But for what we're doing today, I was like, yeah. So I was really hoping we'd get into cutting up some of these today. And then that happened, and like I said, I have a backup set. They're not as good as my other set that I had that broke, but they would have worked to get us by for today. Like I said, I don't know if we're going to do an hour or not today. Kind of just depends. Now, actually, now I'm thinking about it, I need 2 of these. So if I'm going 40, 80, 120, I need basically 240 to make a set. And I'm actually wanting to make 2 pairs. I want to do one in a rainbow, and then I'm going to do another one probably in rainbow, but I want to do it the other way. I think it's going to be harder to anodize that way. But we're only going to work on one version for the stream here. We're just going to work on the normal rainbow one. I just want to go ahead and make up the wire for it. And I'll probably cut up the rings at the same time for it. But I doubt we'll get to the build and show the anodization of it. And I hope it doesn't take too long to do all that. We'll see how everything goes here. I'm going to try to keep it where we only work on this on Mondays. Come on. That's what I hate about this. This wire is so small, and niobium in a way is kind of, you know, a little thin in a way. And soft, so it likes to bend fairly easily. Alright, stay in there this time. Come on, let's go. There we go. I think we're good. A little faster this time. When I start pulling apart though. Getting wiggly, but it's still tight. And there it goes. I can feel it starting to want to pull apart. So, I think that would probably be a decent amount for what we would need to get the one going. But we're going to do, like I said, we're going to do a few more here. Kind of get them done. I almost want to coil this. This was, I had this was, what, 33 feet, I believe, of this that I had. I think it's 22 gauge. I've got several more niobium. Actually, I got a thicker titanium, too, that I thought about doing it in, but I wanted to kind of go small. Like I said, I've worked with some small rings like this before, but definitely not in this wire gauge either. I got too far away. I need to get my finger closer. There we go. Slowly worked in there. And get a little better pressure going this way. Feels better. I have to stop because I'm getting a coil up behind me. And I was afraid if I kept going, I was going to end up. Well, can I continue maybe? Let's see. That was kind of lucky. Normally that doesn't work for me. There it went. Get too far on this thing though. That's why I said it gets a little. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and coil the rest of this up. I don't have a whole lot of it left, so. Cut off our loosies. Clean them up a little bit better when I get the better trimmers. Like I said, on these, I don't know if you can see my tips are off. I can't come to a good tip point. One tip's at least a 1/16 inch off, so I can't get in there and get a good cut. I end up marring a ring on the second ring. I'm trying to cut the first ring off. I end up marring that second ring because to get this cutter to where I need to cut, the other ring wants to start digging into the next one. So But it's a nice cutter for up to 18 gauge. I use this for just my normal cutting of wire. If I got to go thicker and bigger, then I pull out the big guns, you know. I'll put that around on the wrong side. Get on in there. Pull. And go too fast too, you can start building up heat on your hand. I can feel the wire heating up as it was crossing. Like I said, I'm getting a pretty good tension. Trying to keep them tight and even. Now I get too far and I'm just pulling the mandrel. I don't want to call it that too much. And I could bypass that. Like I said, if I was going to do a lot of these, I probably would make me up like a small wooden jig to coil on, and it'd be quicker and easier in a way. What did I do there? Alright, that was weird. Alright, you know. So yeah, I'm going to have these. I'm going to add these to my collection of broken tools now. Broken in the process of making chainmail. I've got other ones that I broke, but not in chainmail processing. So, only things that I broke for chainmailing am I going to mount onto my little chainmail broken wall. I'm going to build me a little Holden plaque thing on the laser and put in the things that I've broken so far through the years. Oh, back around the other way. Hopefully my hat doesn't get in the way when I was doing this. I wasn't thinking about that. I'm just trying to get a good view. Starting to wiggle wiggle. Gonna wiggle wiggle and jiggle jiggle or whatever that song is. Actually, that one gave me a pretty good run. And I'm almost out of wire. Don't have much left off of that. And so we're just gonna go ahead and coil up the rest of this and see where that takes us on our time. See what else we might be able to do. I don't know. Come on, get up in there. Get off there. Ooh, excuse me. But the 20 gauge of the titanium or niobium here. I use 20 gauge and 22 gauge wire to make my ear hooks. All my ear hooks are always put on niobium because it's kind of it's a reactive metal, but it doesn't react with the body. I've never had anybody allergic to niobium, and so that's why I always use it for all my ear hooks anymore. Plain, it still looks good, but then I can also anodize them up. So, you know what? With this camera view, you can't see what I'm actually doing. I guess we just need to go back to the top camera. Flip back over there, camera. Alright. Good. Like so. I'm getting a little more confident when I'm close, but as I get further out, I definitely don't want to start going too fast with the coil, like a back coil, or I could start stretching out like I just did there. Because you don't want your coil to stretch out on the mandrel, because that's actually going to change your size of the ring because it's further apart. Now, granted, we're talking minuscule amounts, but it can change what you're working on depending because of that. So you do have to kind of keep that in mind when you're doing that. That's why if I start getting any kind of pull out, I don't like to continue. Well, especially in the Ringinator. I had some pictures last week. What day was that? Of the rings we were making up. And I had a couple coils that I coiled up a long time ago. I went ahead and cut those too. That had a lot of gaps in them. And when I was starting to build with them, I was like, you know, they're working, but it'd be better if they were proper. So I always try to keep them as close as I can. If I start getting too far apart, I just like, no, that ain't gonna work. So well, let's go ahead and coil up the rest of this. Gotta be a little careful when we get to the end here. Because if you let go of it, that thing will flip back around and cut you up. So, I'm going to see, niobium is fairly soft, so I'm going to see if I can just do this by hand here. Try to get down as close as we can, have a little amount of waste left out of this as we can. We've already got a little pile of waste. But I also don't want to chop up my hand today. Alright, it's going to uncoil, so I need to be quick. Very little uncoil. That's good. So, cut those off. Alrighty. Let's pull out our coils here. Little bitty coils. Doesn't look like much. But, what do we figure? Let me double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. There's 40 rings in this little bit. And this little bit is about an inch long. So if that's 40, that's more than 40 for sure. That's more than 40. This is probably going to be double 40. That's a double 40. And that's where we were setting about 70 or 80. So 42, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What is 15 times 30? Oh, I have a pen handy. There we go. Let's go. 15 times 30, 0, 5, 1, 4, 0, 5, 3, 4. I just calculated wrong here. 15. Let me do this again. 1, 5, 0, 0, 3. So almost 500 rings. Right there. Probably a little more because I'm just doing a guesstimate. But that's a good amount of ring right there when I'm thinking, what did I say, 120 per thing, 240. So it's about what I need actually for two sets. As long as I don't screw up a whole lot of rings when I get into the cutting of them and all that, we should be okay. Man, I wish I had a cutter. But see, these are my big cutters. No way that's going to fit inside my coil to make a cut. I don't even think I could get a sideway on a cut there from, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get in there with those. Got my side cutters there, that won't work. That is just a big, like I said, I have my backup pair, and I looked in my extra box that should have them, but since we moved everything around in January, oh, no, I thought that was it. I've got a little zip closed thing. It's something I had years ago that had a bunch of different pliers in it. Through the years, pliers got broke, lost, whatever, but I still had the case. So I use this case, and I just put them in there. I don't put them in their little respective holders. I just kind of pile the extra tools in there. And that whole case is missing. So as soon as I find it, I'll have those, but I'm also going to be getting me another pair. I'm actually looking for a better pair of snippers, flush cutters anyway. These were doing the job. They'd done well for years. They're getting a little old and sticky. These I bought a few years ago, but as soon as I got them with the tips being off, I was like, this is not going to work. I still use them, though, for my other cutting. So we'll have to figure that out. That's a bummer. I need to get back up there in your spot before I forget. Turn you off. That's one thing I hate about my... come on. Thing is, the battery just it doesn't shut off on its own. Dang it. I got to turn it off or the battery goes dead. I don't know how many times I've had to replace that battery. Where are we at time-wise? 25 minutes. Man, because we're kind of stuck here without being able to cut these into rings. I want to get one. If I could just get one ring off here. I want to close one ring up and make sure my measurements and everything came out right. just can't grab it with all that. Maybe if I come in an angle. It's not the best, but it did cut, so. And like I said, I'm kind of more wanting something I can measure. I need to get my rings out. Kind of screwed it up and made it little sixes. Sixing in a way. Yeah. Not great, but it will give me basically what I need. And compare that to, like I said, this is the current ring size that I'm using. These are 1/8 inch inner diameter 18 gauge wire compared to what we just made up of 22 gauge wire, I believe, but 1.6 millimeter inside. Let's zoom in here and see if I can move stuff up into view. There's that ring. That's the current jelly cube size. And this will be the earring jelly cube size. Quite a bit different there. So, alright, well, I don't know if that second one made it into view. I was looking at the camera, not the Facebook. So let's move that up a little bit, see if we can get into view. Well, I hate to only do a half an hour, man. And if I was to get anything out, it's going to take me a while to get it out to be able to do it. I mean, maybe the jelly cube, I guess, since I've got kind of part of it out. So yeah, I kind of sixed that ring there. But it, definitely a lot different size. They look worse on camera than they do in looking at them myself. I don't know, that's weird. But, yeah. I don't know what else we can really do, because I didn't have anything prepared. I thought this would probably take a little longer, and in my head, I still had the thought of cutting and being able to build some today. But, you know what? It is what it is. It is July 4th. You know, I kind of hung out and didn't do a whole lot yesterday. Let's go back up to change over our view here. Get back to me, I guess. Unfortunately, who wants to look at me? But, yeah. I think we're probably just going to go ahead and close up for today. I don't know if anybody joined us. I haven't seen any messages anywhere. I think I got one over on YouTube. Maybe. Hi, YouTube viewer. But anyway, we're probably going to go ahead and close up for today. It is July 4th. It is a holiday. Don't really need to do it. If these wouldn't have broke on me today, I mean, this was, what, about 1 o'clock. I was working on cutting out some 18 gauge, and it just snapped on me. I mean, I was hardly applying any pressure. I was starting to put into it, but I wanted to re-grab it to get a better bite so I could, you know, because I was kind of cutting like this. And I was like, well, let me go ahead and grab it like this. And I went to grab it like that and barely gave any pressure, and it just snapped off. You know, they always say wear safety goggles. I always thought that was kind of silly when it comes to those, but luckily it went the other way. I do wear glasses, but it'd probably go right through. But yeah, if that wouldn't have happened, we'd be cutting them up right now. So anyway, I guess we are going to go ahead and close it up for tonight. You know, just kind of thinking about anything I could possibly do easily. Jelly cube would be it, but it is a holiday. You all are busy too, but I didn't want to skip another Monday. We've already had a few Mondays we had to skip for various reasons, video, this, that. So anyway, we got a half an hour in. Got up some coils, so did a little bit. I hope you all end up having a good rest of your 4th of July night. If you're watching this, we're watching it later. I hope you had a good 4th of July. Not planning on much myself. I might take the drone up here, get it charged up, and take it out and do some flying around outside of the area where they're shooting off, obviously. I don't want people to shoot my drone down. But maybe I'll get some drone work of some fireworks tonight. I don't know. I tried a few years ago, but I ended up running out of battery juice. I went too early, flew around, and my batteries were dying before the main events started happening. So maybe I'll make sure I go a little later. Otherwise, I hope you all have a great night, great afternoon, since we're doing it in the afternoon. I'm still confused. It's going to throw me off all the rest of the day. I've screamed. It's 8:30. I should be feeding the cats. Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I've rambled on long enough. So I hope you all have a great 4th of July. If you're out there having fun now and you're watching this later, I hope it was a good time. You all be safe, and we will be back on, today's Monday, yeah. So we'll be back Wednesday with Small Project Night. So y'all have a great night. Happy 4th of July. Peace.